I get questions from nears and dears about the situations they may have encountered, and then as a result, the motivation has lost. They have some type of stress, the stress disorder, loss of motivations, inability to complete a task even though they are capable of doing that. There are several situations that arises, like depressions, the loneliness. This is not, I tell them, my friend, you are not alone. This is not only you that faces. Mostly everyone in this world faces those situations, some at smaller degree, some at higher degree. The impact that has on our brain and mind are different based on one's capability and how well they have trained their mind. But remember one, I think, my friends, it's if you are feeling those depressions, loneliness, let me tell you, these are the biggest enemy in your life. Unless you overcome those, they will slowly destroy you completely, and you won't be able to perform at your max capabilities. So when you face a problem like that, when you encounter unhappiness, when you don't feel you have those charismatic personality anymore, simple course of actions, you inclines towards listening to some motivational speakers. Maybe you go to the experts in the field about depressions, and after all, you still fail. Why? What's the reason? Listen, so when you go something commercially, they go by books. They have their methods of doing things in a way. They have laws and orders to worry about. They have, defined books, defined set of rules to follow. And that, in your situation, needs to fit into it in order for you to realize the benefit. And even though if it does fit, it is upon you to kind of exercise those techniques when the things comes again, when the certain, for example, somatization, sometimes, some of the flashback comes in your brain. How are you going to manage those? You can't manage. That's why you went to the expert. An expert are saying manage this way. When it comes, you kill it. The thoughts, you kill those thoughts. You're not able to, and that's why you're seeking help. So it comes in the circle, and you are still helpless. So any other resources that you can think of, and that's where I get questions like, have you seen anything in your Indian literatures, in our Bharatiya Shastra? That is one formula, maybe one technique, maybe one yantra, maybe some ashish. I can put it in, miracle, something happens and I'll be happy again. Let me tell you, my friend, you are in the right directions, but your expectations is not right. My short answers is yes, there is a solutions that I have seen, and I do practice. I love it. I'll share with you in pretty high level, but it is not something that you can achieve overnight, or it's not a miracle things. It comes with the practice. Mostly what happens, you have to fundamentally believe in the Indian literature, number one, in order to get the benefit. Number two, our main book, Gita, where Bhagwan Krishna or Bhagwan Yogeshwara, he has defined the path of any actions. The difference here, right? So when we try to learn something, we comes with the actions, that we change a certain type of actions towards someone, we change our behavior, we change the actions in a way that we can achieve our goals, and we still fails. The reason why that happens is because we start at the pretty wrong point. Krishna said, how the action arises from a thought. Okay, so the thought is the number one thing. So primary thing, it starts with the thought, then you think about it, then you plan it out, and then you realize outside an extrovert, and it comes as an actions. So Most commercial practices comes from the action part versus Gita start at the thought level. And once you start from the fundamental, then and then you can see some differences in your life about the happiness. Remember, happiness is your birthright. You should have it. If not, you should achieve it. You should work for it. And to achieve it, you really need to focus on your thoughts. Very principal, very fundamental item is your thoughts. Now, everyone in this world has a thoughts that comes in the wave. And before we get into the thoughts, let's remember, thoughts has its own mechanism. It has laws. The thought has its own laws. Thoughts has its own power. It can do miracle things. It can impact you. It can impact others. It can impact your actions. So just like a doctor, if you want to be a doctor, you need to understand the human anatomy and what impacts the human organs and how you can remediate any issues. Similarly, thought has its own mechanism. It has its own physics. It has its own psychology. So number one, you have to first understand the anatomy of thoughts, how it arises, how you can control, and how you can use that for your benefit. I'm just going to cover some keywords. I'm not going to get into the details, but just to tap some of the keywords so that you can just explore more about it. It's not your desire is to become the cardiologist. So I'm not going to tell you how to become a cardiologist. I'm going to point you to the right university where you can become cardiologist. In our case, we're going to point you towards our literatures, the Bharatiya Shastra. So that way you can explore more and you can get what you desire. Just to simplify, we all went to the public school, we went to the same school, but out of hundreds and thousands, there is only one or two got big success. So it's not school, it is you, how you grasp it and how you achieve the things in your life. So to do that, there are peoples, like even if you read about history, our itihas, there are the people who has control their brain, their power, their mind, their thoughts, and they become thoughtless. They come into the samadhi status, and those people do the miracles. Take an example, Bhishma, Arjun. These are the key heroes of Mahabharata. Have they ever wrote a single book? No. People wrote about them. People talk about them. That's the miracle you can achieve by controlling your thoughts. So to control the thoughts, there are mechanisms for that. You can control by positive attitude. You can control by the way you treat others, and you can control it by the concentration. It may sound silly, but there is the way you organize your thought, the way you think. There's a method of thinking, and that's prescribed in our Bharatiya Shastra. Just like your body, thought are a living things. The time passes, thoughts are the things just like a word. It never ever dies. Thoughts always remain live. The way you train your brain, if you make it capable enough to receive the right thoughts, you would be able to capture the thoughts that has been floating on this world, on this universe. Those thoughts could be from big rishis, yogis, even Lord Krishna. It's just the way how you develop your inside receiver as an antenna to capture those live thoughts that's sitting around. And that's why in our Bharat we have some tirthasthan. What is the significance of those? Because those tirth has always some of the positive vibes. Big rishis, some of the well-known famous brahmacharis, Siddha, they all have done some thought process there. Those thoughts may be concentrated there, and it's prescribed in the Mahabharata that that when you go there on certain days, certain things comes. If you stay there overnight, you're gonna achieve X, Y, and Z. That's what it's prescribed. So that kind of relates here about your thoughts, how you receive it, how you develop your brain. And that's how you can achieve the immense power. Remember, you have two type of thoughts, positive and negative. Negative thoughts will destroy your ability over a period of time, versus positive thought will make you charismatic leader. The way every person has two type of thought, it's gonna continuously come just as a wave in the ocean. The negative, our final goal is to become a waveless, the no thoughts waves in your mind. So number one, you have the way how you're gonna become a waveless. The people who are waveless are, remember, in the history just I mentioned about Arjun and Bhishma. There are several others. I'm just not gonna name all of them, but you have two type of waves that's coming. One is negative, one is positive. The negative thoughts you subdue with the positive thought. That looks a little simpler, although it is a challenge, but you can try for that. While positive thoughts, when it comes as negative thoughts, you can just ignore, you can kill those negative thoughts. When it comes, you have to think about, for example, somebody insults you. If you take it, it's gonna make you down. But if you don't, at the same time, what you think about it is, okay, I'm Atma. I cannot be burned. I cannot be destroyed. Atma is its individual entity. Whatever they're saying is to the body, not to the Atma. There are several other techniques, but there is a way you can subdue the negative thoughts. Now you are only left with the positive thoughts. The positive thoughts, how are you going to subdue those? Once you are out of negative thoughts, you do concentration, you do meditation. With that transcendental meditations, all your thoughts will subdue eventually over a period of time. You concentrate on a form of God, you acquire their virtue, and you become also waveless. And once you achieve that state, that's the time the power gonna start coming towards you. Hence, there is a pretty much big stress is given about the Murti Puja in Bharatiya Sanskriti. So Murti Puja, ideal worship, is very key to the success. It's not just a stone and then God gonna come out of it. That's pretty stupid thought. The Murti Puja is especially to make you powerful. It is a tool in front of you to organize your thought, to do the concentrations, to think about the virtue of God and transfer that virtue inside you. That is the mechanism of Murti Puja. And once you achieve those success, you will have those charismatic personality. Your body language will change. The radiation, your aura will change. And there are hundreds of things. It's a pretty complex subject. I barely touched the subject, but hope at least you got some basics on the thoughts. All right, thanks.